wondered how you sense the world, move your body, or even think? The answer lies in one of the most complex and fascinating network in your body, the nervous system. Today we'll explore how it works, its parts, and why it's often called the body's command center. In this video, we will talk all about our amazing nervous system in brief, detailed versions and learn how it works. So let's dig in. The nervous system includes the brain, nerves, and spinal cord. It is the communication center for the body, sending and receiving messages, regulating body functions, and serving as a control center for the five senses, and also for emotion, speech, coordination, balance, and learning. The nervous system is a vast communication network made up of specialized cells called neurons. These neurons transmit message as tiny electrical impulses, allowing different parts of the body to talk to each other almost instantly. Now, before we move on and talk about more on this system, it's important for us to understand what are neurons. Now, neurons are types of specialized cell. Now, you might be wondering, what's a specialized cell? These are types of cells that have specific function to perform. Well, there are other types of specialized cells, but more on these later. Now, coming back to neurons, neurons have two distinctive ends, where one receives the signal and the other delivers the signal. Moving on, they have something called dendrites on both of their ends, which are basically like tree-like structure that attaches and receives signals. Now, these cells also have a fiber in the middle, which is responsible for insulating the message so it doesn't get lost on the way. The fiber is known as myelin fiber. Additionally, our nervous system is divided into two parts, which is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Let's talk about central nervous system first. This is the control center made up of brain and spinal cord. Now, in this system, the information received is interpreted or understood by the brain. It makes the decision and sends it back for action to be taken. This system also stores all the memories in the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is like a hive of neurons carrying messages back and forth between the brain and the rest of the body. Well, you can say that this is the only bridge through which our brain receives messages. On the other hand, the peripheral nervous system includes the nerves branching out of the spinal cord and spreading throughout the body. Before we move on, we need to understand certain movements in the body. There are two types of movements in the body: voluntary movements and involuntary actions or movements. Voluntary movements are actions that can be controlled by you on purpose. This includes things like running, riding, and even speaking. On the other hand, involuntary actions happens automatically. Without even thinking about it, our brain gets the work done. For example, beating of your heart, breathing, digestion, and even blinking. Now, coming back to peripheral nervous system, it is further divided into two types: the somatic and autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system controls all the voluntary actions, or basically the things you can decide, whereas the autonomic system controls all the involuntary actions. Now, the autonomic nervous system is further divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic one controls your heartbeat, breathing, and prepares you for action. On the other hand, parasympathetic nervous system calms you down, saves energy, and helps with digestion and recovery. Do you know neurons communicate using electrical impulses? These impulses can travel up to 250 miles per hour. That's faster than most cars on a highway. That's why you can instantly pull your hands away if you touch something hot. Your nervous system reacts almost instantly to protect you. Now, let's talk about the brain. The brain is the most important organ of the nervous system. It is like the command center that controls everything we do, from thinking and emotions to movement and survival function. Even though it weighs only about 3 pounds, the brain uses around 20% of the body's energy and contains about 86 billion neurons. Now the brain is divided into 3 parts: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. Let's talk about cerebrum, which is the largest part and controls thinking, memory, intelligence, language, and voluntary actions. The cerebrum is divided into 2 parts, or scientifically called hemispheres. The left hemisphere usually handles logic, math, and language. On the contrary, the right hemisphere focuses more on creativity, imagination, and emotions. The outer layer, called the cerebral cortex, processes senses like sight, touch, and hearing. Now, the cerebellum is the little brain and is usually found at the back of the brain under cerebrum. It controls balance, posture, and coordination. Thanks to cerebellum, we can walk, ride, or play a sport smoothly. Moving on, the brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord, controls vital involuntary actions like heartbeat, breathing, blood pressure, and swallowing. This part keeps you alive even when you're asleep or unconscious. Now, not everything goes to the brain. Some signals are processed only in the spinal cord, and these are called reflex actions. For example, touching something hot makes your hand pull away instantly. Reflexes protect you before your brain even gets the message. So the nervous system is the body's superhighway, handling voluntary actions we control and involuntary actions that keep us alive without even noticing. If you enjoyed this video and want tutoring lessons for any grade from 1 to 8, please contact us at our email address for more information. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Until the next time, stay happy and keep learning.